Welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you guys doing? I hope everyone is fine. So today on this channel, I want to talk about ways couples can spice up things in their marriage. Ways couples can spice up things in their homes in order to bring back the fire of love burning in their homes. A lot of couples are just cohabitating, living like flatmates. So many can't even remember the last time they went out for a function, dinner nights, vacations. A lot of couples can't even remember the last time they had good sex. A lot of couples can't even remember the last time they sat together as couples, gist, have fun like couples. Many are just living like flatmates, which is not okay because the primary purpose of marriage is companionship. Marriage is not meant to just have kids and start raising them. The primary purpose of marriage is companionship. But unfortunately, many couples can't even remember the last time they gisted as couples, had fun, had sex, went out there to have fun, do things that makes them happy. They can't relate. So as I was saying, many couples are just living like flatmates, which is not right. The primary purpose of marriage is companionship. Couples should be able to gist together, have fun, do things that makes them happy, and not just living like flatmates. So on this channel, I am about to discuss things that might probably be the cause of all this and solution, like things couples facing these problems can do in order to bring back the fire of love burning in their homes, because forever is too long to be unhappy and miserable. So don't forget to like my videos, to share my videos, to tell me how you feel in the comment section, and to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more educative and entertaining videos. So number one things couples should do in order to spice up things in their marriage is to learn how to communicate. Some couples can't even remember the last time they sat down together to gist, to plan their lives, families together, to gist, to have fun, to cuddle, communicate. So from my own observations, some of the reasons why couples no longer communicate is, number one, some couples are not good listeners. Let me give you for an example. Let's assume that I came back from work and my partner did something that I am not happy about. And so I decided to sit him down to tell him, see, honey, this thing you did, I don't like it. Trying to make him understand that his attitude do hurt me. And instead of him trying to listen and apologize and make amends, he will now start trying to be defensive, trying to prove a point, trying to be aggressive, even when he knows deep down that what he did is not right. I am just giving an example because a lot of couples are sitting on this table. When you know that you have done something wrong and your partner is trying to let you know how your attitude is hurting him or her, what you are supposed to do is to, listen, try to listen, give them a listening ear, let them tell you how they feel. Once they are done talking and within you know that what they are saying is right, instead of you trying to be defensive, to play the victim card, you have to apologize, make amends, apologize to them, because you might have done those things without even knowing that you are hurting your spouse. So that is why communication matters a lot. When you are able to communicate with your spouse and they are free to tell you how they feel about you, you will see that you guys can be able to discuss anything. But when you are always on the defensive side, you don't believe you are wrong. You always feel that because you are the man of the house, nobody should correct you. Who is my wife to tell me what to do? Who is my wife to correct me? Who is my dear shield? That woman is your wife. That man is your husband. And you are going to live with that man or that woman forever. So you have to drop your pride, your arrogance one side and listen to your spouse. Be a good listener. If they have something they want to tell you, listen. Forget about all this gra we see on social media. You just have to mellow down and listen to your spouse. That way, they will be able to tell you things. They'll be able to tell you when they are sad, when they are frustrated, when they are miserable, when they are happy, when they have good news. And they will also, when the communication gap is okay, when there is an effective communication between a husband and a wife, you will realize at the end of the day, your husband will always want to come back home in order to gist with you and be with you. Some men, they no longer go home. When they are done for the day, they will go to the beer parlor. Some of them will tell you, I don't want my wife's trouble. Some women, same thing. Instead of going back to their houses, they will look for somewhere to go because they don't want their husband's wahala. All these things is because there is no understanding and good communication between those couples. So you have to learn to be a good listener. Learn to communicate with your spouse. Learn to apologize when you are wrong. You are not always right. Even me, I am not always right. Before, I used to find it very difficult apologizing. But as time goes on, you don't have any choice. If you actually value that your partner, you try as much as possible to apologize when you are wrong. And most importantly, let there be a change in behavior. Try to avoid those things that will hurt your spouse. Those things that will always put your house in chaos. Those things that will always make the environment not to be conducive for both you, your spouse, and the kids. So that is why I'm trying to say that good communication matters a lot. Be a good listener. Learn to communicate. Don't always be aggressive, always shouting and wailing. Yes, sometimes we just can't help it. It's because we are humans and we are capable of making mistakes. But if you can be able to be a good listener and knows how to communicate when your spouse hurts you or when there is something bothering you, I believe it will bring you both together in unity, in love, in peace. So learn to communicate with your spouse. Good communication can also lead to more intimacy, both emotional and physical. When couples are able to talk openly and honestly with each other, they are often able to have more fulfilling and enjoyable relationships. So that is why I always encourage couples to learn to communicate. Any marriage where there is no effective communication is dead already, because you guys will end up living like flatmates, which is not okay at all. So learn how to communicate. If there is something bothering you, learn how to present those things in a good manner. Learn how to listen to your spouse. If your husband is telling you, Ada, see what you are doing, this thing you are doing is not right, listen. Maybe later you can now talk to him about how you feel about the whole thing. But just give him or her a listening ears. Let them tell you how they feel. If it is the one that warrants you apologizing, do it. Swallow your pride. Because you guys have to make the environment conducive, both for you and your children. Because children thrive more in an environment full of love and peace. A lot of children are depressed. They are frustrated because of the attitude of their parents, because of the environment at home. Many children can't even open up to their parents or gist with their parents because they're always scared. The home is not even conducive. They always witness their father beating their mother and all sorts of things. So it is our responsibility to make the home conducive for ourselves and for our children. So learn to communicate with your spouse. Learn to present your issues well. Learn to, those things your spouse is always complaining about you. If possible, work on them. You can't lie to yourself. Shake within you. If you can be true to yourself, you realize that some of those things that they are complaining is true. And if it is something you need to work on, Swallow your pride and work on them for the sake of peace and happiness in your home. Okay, so number one is effective communication. A marriage where there is no communication between husband and wife is just dead on arrival. The marriage is just there. They are just there for the sake of their children. And those children you guys are just there because of will one day leave. So when they leave, what are you guys going to do? Divorce or just face your husband will face his own room, you face your own room, or what? So it is not too late to start now to go back to the drawing board. If you know those things that you normally do that is making your spouse to distance themselves from you, stop them. If you know those things they're always complaining about that is affecting your marriage, work on them. If you know those things that you have to do in order to draw your spouse closer to you, work on them, do them. If you know those things that you normally say to your spouse that makes them bitter towards you, bridle your tongue. All these things is not easy, but it is achievable if you make up your mind to be intentional about things you say, things you do. If your spouse is always complaining that you are dirty, all sort of things, take good care of yourself. Because some people expect their spouse to make love to them and all that, whereas they don't even brush their teeth. They don't even take their baths twice in a day. You expect him to come closer to you, to hug you, to cuddle you where you are smelling. It doesn't make sense. So, guys, if you're watching this video, okay, go into the mode of sober reflection. Look within you and see if there are attitudes that you need to work on so that there will be a great communication between you and your spouse. If you are the type that doesn't know how to encourage your spouse, you have to learn, because some people are going through a lot but they can't open up to their spouse because they don't want their spouse to blame them. So that is why, like I always said, it's good to communicate. When your spouse is going through problems in life and they decide to open up to you, you should be a good source of an encourager to them. Your words should be able to uplift their spirits and not bring them down. So today, as I am saying, number one is good communication. Be a good listener. Learn to communicate your problems or whatever it is. Okay? So number two is intimacy. A lot of people don't like talking about this, but it is still very important in marriage. It could be physical intimacy like sex. Couples should be able to make love at least twice or 3 times in a week, especially if those couples are living together. And in order for this to be possible, couples should be able to practice good personal hygiene. Brush your teeth, take your baths, try as much as possible to keep yourself clean, keep your environment clean. Okay? It is very important. Intimacy is very important in marriage. When it comes to intimacy, there are many ways that it can help to spice up a marriage. Physical intimacy like sex can help couples to feel closer and more connected. But intimacy also goes beyond the physical. Emotional intimacy like sharing your feelings and being vulnerable with your partner can help to create a deeper and more meaningful connection. Intimacy can also come in the form of shared experiences, like traveling together or trying new things as a couple. When couples feel connected and intimate, they often feel more satisfied and fulfilled in their relationship. So when we talk about intimacy, it could be physical, it can also be emotional, being connected to your spouse. So in order for all this to happen, when it comes to physical intimacy, like I said earlier, couples should try as much as possible to practice good personal hygiene. Because I used to read all sort of posts on social media, you will see people complaining about how their spouse doesn't like flushing the toilet, doesn't like brushing his or her teeth, doesn't like washing his or her hair, doesn't like taking their bath. It doesn't make sense. You can't expect your spouse to come closer to you when you do not practice a good personal hygiene. You should be able to keep yourself and your environment clean, brush your teeth, take your bath and keep yourself clean and fresh. Eat well, exercise, and maintain a good, healthy weight. Try to be physically active, exercise, eat right. You must not eat everything you see, especially when you know you easily put on weight. It's not just about trying to look beautiful for your spouse. It's also for your own good, because there are so many health issues associated with obesity. So that is why you have to also look after yourself. Take good care of yourself, exercise, be physically fit, eat right, take your bath, brush your teeth, wash your hair net, clean your ears, go for dental checkup, scrub your tongue so that you won't be smelling. You can't be complaining that your spouse doesn't like doing this or that with you when you are smelling. It doesn't make sense. So in as much as I encourage couples to be more intimate, to have sex, to, do things that brings them together, binds them more together in love and peace, it's also important to also encourage them to practice good personal hygiene, which is very important. So number 2 is intimacy. Number 1 is good communication, which I have explained earlier. Number 2 is intimacy. So number 3 is going on dates and traveling. That's one thing I love so much. I love to travel. This year only I've been to Singapore. I had so much fun. I don't know if couples can learn to travel. It must not be outside the country. You can, if you are living in Lagos, maybe you can travel to Abuja with your spouse, camp in one 5-star or 4-star hotel for like 2 days, have fun, go to the gym, swimming pool, enjoy your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner. You guys will just be in your room gisting. You can even decide to visit fun places in Abuja, have fun, and come back. It must not be outside the country if you can't afford it. There are so many places you can even visit within your country. So traveling helps a lot to, to spice up things in your marriage. You can even travel with your kids. And it's fun also. But sometimes you can just travel with your spouse. I see some people normally using their kids as an excuse. You can always look for someone that can help you look after your kids. It could be your sister. You can even take them to maybe your in-laws, or if you are in good terms with them, you can always see where you can drop the kids off for some days so that you guys can just go on a break and rest. So going on dates and traveling together can definitely help to spice up a relationship. It's important for couples to take time away from their everyday routines and spend quality time together. This can help to reignite the spark and bring back those feelings of excitement and attraction that were present at the beginning of the relationship. And traveling together can create a sense of adventure and newness, which can be very invigorating for a relationship. So like I was saying, if it can be possible for you and your spouse to travel. If you are living in the city, you guys can just say, okay, let's go to the village and rest for some days. You guys can decide to, okay, since I'm staying in Abuja, let's just go to Lagos and rest. Okay, if I'm staying in US, okay, let's just go to UK and rest for 2 days. You guys can just go on vacation, just 2 of you. Have fun, gist, It helps to spice up the marriage too. Sometimes, I know it's not easy because some people are so busy with their business, with their jobs and all that. But you can still make out time, even if it is just 2 days, just you and your partner. So what I'm trying to say is that going on dates, it could be also dinner nights. On Sundays like this, you can decide to say, okay, babe, let's go out there and have fun. You guys can just go to any nice restaurant Order whatever it is you guys want to eat. As you guys are eating, you can be gisting with your spouse. And if you are married to a good spouse that has been taking good care of you and your children as a woman, this is also an opportunity to also thank your spouse for all their goodness towards you and your kids. It's also an avenue for you to appreciate your spouse. Let them know how much you love them. And this goes to women too. If you as a man is married to a woman that maybe you are financially handicapped and she's the one, doing most of the things in the house, you can also use that opportunity to tell her how much you love and appreciate her. Make her feel loved. And life shouldn't be all about going to work, going to church and all that. Couples should be able to create time for themselves in order to go out there and have fun. And traveling, dinner nights, attending functions, all kinds of sweet things. It's very important. It is not all about going to work, going to church. Make out time for your spouse. It is very important. Make them feel loved. So number 4 is praying together as a couple. Praying together can definitely be a powerful way to spice up your marriage. Prayer is a very intimate and sacred activity. And when couples pray together, it can create a deep connection and sense of unity. Prayer can also help to strengthen trust and communication, as well as promote forgiveness and understanding. And the spiritual dimension of prayer can bring couples closer to God and help them to see the bigger picture of their lives and relationship. Prayer is very important in marriage. The devil and his agents are fighting good marriages now. So it is left for you to join hands together and pray together as one big family with your children. A family that prays together and abide by God's words stays together. We are battling a lot of evil now, a lot of unforeseen things, both the physical battles and spiritual battles. So prayer is the only way you can fight all these things. Life is more spiritual than physical. Before some things happens in the physical realm, it must have happened in the spiritual realm. That is why it is good to stay prayerful, so that you can be able to fight some things before it happens. Yes, there are people that the only thing they know how to do is to look for who to manipulate, who to project their evil eyes and all sort of negativity and bitterness. There are some people that just because you are living fine with your husband, with your wife, is enough for them to hate you. Just because you are looking good, you are beautiful, your husband does not joke with you, and your kids, your wife does not joke with you, is enough for them to look for ways to scatter the whole relationship or marriage. There are some people, because they have not been favored in life, their own relationship or marriage crashed. They are not happy about it. So some, when they see other people who are happy in their marriage, in their relationship, they will start looking for ways to crash it. There are some people that has this spirit of covetousness in them. What other people want and are enjoying is what they want. If they can have their way, they will just try to destroy us. So, and the only way, aside we being careful as human beings, is for us to stay prayerful, so that God will keep scattering their evil plans. Yes, so that God will keep fighting our battles for us. And that can only be achieved if couples can learn to come together and pray together as one big family. Because a family that prays together stays together. A family that prays together and abide by God's principles, especially when it comes to marriage, stays together. Because when you, as a couple, abide by God's principles of marriage, there won't be any reason why you will maltreat your spouse. There won't be any reason why you will do things that will hurt your marriage, knowing fully well that you are trying to ruin your own family by yourself. So that is why I added a family that prays together and abide by God's principles of marriage will always stay together. So aside praying, we also have to do our best by abiding in God's principles when it comes to marriage. So stay prayed of. If you don't know how to pray, you have to learn. Read your Bible, read Psalms together as a family. It helps a lot. The fourth one is words of affirmations and compliments. You know, there are people that loves compliments. When they make new hair, they will love their spouse to tell them that they look good. When they wear new clothes, you know, they will love to hear things like, oh, my wife, you look so beautiful. Or my husband, oh, that your outfit is so lovely. I love your new haircut. Oh, that your bag is so fine. There are people that loves compliments, you know, so that is why it is very important to know your spouse love language. If you are able to know your spouse love language, that will make it easier for you to do things they love. There are people that love words of affirmations like, you are such a hard worker, you are so funny, you know, I love spending so much time with you, you make me so happy. Things like that. There are people that loves compliments like, I love your smile, you always know how to cheer me up. Things, you know, there are people that love such. So it is left for you to know how to compliment your spouse. When they do things for you, thank them. If your husband is the breadwinner, when they pay school fees, provide for the house and all that, thank them, compliment them, make them feel loved and appreciated. If your wife is the one doing those things, make them feel loved, compliment them and appreciate them. Try and be supportive too. These things are not that hard. The energy you put trying to be good out to outsiders, also apply it in your own home. You know, words of affirmations and compliments can be powerful tools for spicing up a marriage. They can help to build up your partner's self-esteem and make them feel loved and appreciated. So learn to compliment your spouse, make them feel loved and appreciated. And you will see that they will always have that mind. They will be so eager to do more for you and your children. They'll be so eager to do things that will make you happy. But if you are the type that you're always complaining, nothing they do is good for you. You will always complain. They'll just lose that zeal to do anything for you. But if, no matter their mistakes, you will also complain when they do something wrong. But try also to compliment and appreciate them when they do something that is very okay, something nice for you. It will make them do more for you. So the sixth one is preparing delicious meals and organizing birthday celebrations and all that. You know, in order to spice up your marriage, especially when your marriage is boring, you have to think of new things you have to try out in order to make the fire of love burning. There are some people that don't know how to cook and they are not willing to learn all the time. It is always one routine. Beans, rice, obono, egusi. They haven't tried masala soup, fried rice, sauce, and all those things. So it is left for you to try out new things. Find out things your spouse loves to eat. Prepare them for them. When it is your spouse's birthday, celebrate it. Let's assume you don't have money to buy them gifts and all that. You can send a text message or, you know, call them on phone and wish them well. Wake up in the morning, wish them well. You have to just do new things. You have to try to learn new things that will spice up the home. If you are the type that you are always fond of preparing only one kind meals, like all the time, it's either rice, it's either stew, banga, obono, unubu. They are fine, don't get me wrong. But this time around, go on YouTube here, Google new delicacies. You can decide, okay, since my family, they have always been eating stew and banga, today let me try fried rice. Let me try sauce and rice. Since they always eat their rice with just water or malt, this time around, let me try tiger nut juice, watermelon juice. You have to try new things. This is how you spice up your home. If you are the type that doesn't celebrate your spouse on their birthdays, you can decide, oh, next week is my husband's birthday. Okay, next week is my wife's birthday. Let me do something extraordinary. You can decide to book a cake, buy gifts. You can even take your wife or your spouse out, your husband. Take him or her out. On Father's Day, oh, this man has been so wonderful to me and my children. Surprise him. On Mother's Day, oh, this woman has been an amazing and a supportive wife to me and the kids. Surprise her. Make her feel loved. That is how you spice up your home. I could remember then on Facebook, I used to post all these things. I do not miss my husband's birthday, Father's Day, my children's birthday, anniversary. I don't miss them because I am someone that loves to learn from people. I like to try out new things. I like to do things that makes my family, my spouse, my children, things that makes them happy. And he do reciprocate too. And so you have to learn how to spice up things. Don't make the home or the environment boring. You have to look out for things, positive things rather, not negative. Positive things that you will learn and apply that will make the fire of love burning, that will, make the environment of your home more sweet and loving. There are some times that I'll go to Google and I'll type how to prepare so food. It will just bring out the recipe and all that. I'll just jot it down. Any day that I will go to the market, I'll just, okay, let me buy it and try. Sometimes it will come out nice, and sometimes it won't. Even when my family, when they are eating it, I'll tell them this is my first try. Oh, let's just manage it next time. I am sure that it will come out more finer and nice. There is this joy that your spouse will have, that at least my wife is trying to learn new things and improve. Even you as a man, if you try it, your wife will be like, oh, my husband will be like, oh, that kind, they will have that happy feeling that you are trying to do things that will make them happy. So it is left for you to learn new things. If you are the type that doesn't know how to cook, this is an era where you have P1, A1, YouTube, Google, Facebook, everywhere. There are so many videos. You can learn. Even if you don't know how to cook or you don't have the time to learn, you can always look out for all these vendors that knows how to prepare delicacies. You can even order for something different from what your families are used to. And everybody will eat and enjoy. So you have to try more delicious meals. On their birthdays, celebrate them, anniversaries, holidays. Create special memories and make your partner feel loved and appreciated. I don't know if I'm making sense, but the moral of what I'm trying to explain is that learn new delicacies and learn to celebrate your spouse on their birthdays, anniversaries, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine. Buy them gifts. Make them feel loved via your words and your actions. You do not necessarily have to break the bank, but your words and actions is enough. You can get them gifts based on your pockets. If you don't have money to buy those expensive ones, go for things you can afford. What matters is your intention towards them. So that's just it. So the seventh one is shopping. When last did you take your wife out for shopping to buy her nice clothes? Make her look good. When last did you buy new things for your husband? Like perfume, wristwatch, shoes, shirts, nice things. Surprise them with nice things. Sometimes, take your wife out there to any boutique. Tell her, my wife, shop my money. Pick any outfit you like. Test them. And when she's testing it, you'll be like, oh, my wife, this one looks so good on you. You are beautiful. These things helps to spice up our marriages. It will even make your wife so happy that she will even do more, try as much as possible to do more things that will make the marriage more happier and peaceful. A happy wife is a happy home. So what I'm trying to say is that learn to take your wives out there for shopping. Buy gifts for your wife, for your husband. Make them feel loved and appreciated. So, gifts and shopping can definitely be part of spicing up a marriage. Receiving gifts from your partner can make you feel loved and appreciated. And it can also be a lot of fun to shop together, because as you guys are picking nice things, you guys can also be gisting, you know, having fun. There is this joy that I feel whenever I go out there to shop with my spouse. He will be like, okay, shake it, go down in Igbo, you like it? I will be like, oh yes, I like it. I will now go and wear it and come out. He will be like, turn, go to Camphia. That is how I'll be turning. He will be like, no, this one they got it too tight. Remove it, bring size 44. And that is how I wear size 44. And I will now come out again. He will look at me and be like, ah, this one is so fine. There is this joy. It is not as if I can't go to the market and buy my clothes by myself, but there is this joy I feel whenever I go out there to shop with my spouse. I know there are some women that don't have any problem with their spouse giving them money to go and shop on their own. So if it is what is working for you also, you can stick to it. So, but the point is that men should love to take their wives out there for shopping or give them money. So that's just it. It's a great way to bond and spend time with your spouse. Remember, every relationship is unique. So be sure to tailor your efforts to what works for you and your spouse. But don't be afraid to experiment and have fun. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, to share my videos, and to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more educative and entertaining videos. Bye.